Schilling.
Thank you, Chairman. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome you all here, and I'm with Representative Johnson. You know, I think we have a lot better things that we could be doing right now, and I'm part of the freshman class, the 87, that were swept in, and I come here basically for the same reason I believe that you folks might be here, is the overregulating. You know, I look at Mr. Field's company, which is in the 17th Congressional District. It's been the backbone of our district for over 100 years. I believe we've got close to 60,000 employees there. And the thing that we're finding in Illinois is because of overregulating, overtaxing, we're losing lots of people from our great state. And, you know, I think people are finally rising up to that challenge. But I just have a couple of questions for Mr. Field specifically. Could you just comment maybe on the timing, sequencing, and the analysis of the SEC and the CFTC on their proposed rulemaking?
Yeah, maybe I'll answer that question a little bit more from contrast it with at least how we would approach it from a business perspective, because I can't sit here and be as presumptuous that I understand exactly all these regulatory processes as some of the folks that are very involved in it. And, but you know, I would say from our perspective, when we're doing a product program, we always say never ever put schedule rather ahead of quality. And I think the analogy in this particular piece of legislation and rulemaking is dead on. And so I think what we would like to see is, first of all, that we come out with a quality product that has the appropriate level of public conversation, discussion, and exposure prior to going into adoption. I think it's vitally important that we settle on these definitions first and foremost. And then we can start to see how this mosaic comes together, because we understand what definitions apply to who and what where we're going to be in this whole process. Right now it's a little bit like, from our perspective, and I think from others' perspective, it's a little bit like trying to put your finger on a bead of mercury. Because you might fall out of this one, and then you're in here, and then you're over here. And so I think getting buttoned down in aggregate and a holistic view of the definitions, so then we can start to understand what provisions apply to whom, would be very, very important.
So basically you'd say that, you know, just let us know what our environment is, what cards are on the table, so we know.
Yeah, and I think let's not shortchange this. This is a very, very sweeping piece of legislation for corporate America and for all that are involved in the financial process. And I think from our perspective, we think it would be a grave injustice to put schedule ahead of quality here.
And then finally, in being one of the less senior people here, a lot of my questions get asked by the time it gets to me. So finally, do you think that the agencies will meet their one-year deadline, or even should meet the one-year deadline?
I think Chairman Ginsler indicated that they most likely are not going to, and I would say that from my perspective is probably a good thing, because at least it shows we are taking a little bit of time. But I think having that one-year deadline out there in terms of a sort of a backdrop is something that I think we might be better off if we were to remove that or extend it.
Thank you, Mr. Phil, and thank you all for what you do for your communities, and I yield back my time.
Thank you.
Gentleman yields